What are we gonna call this? Like this is the most wildest
Right,
hangout
we're
ever.
here now. We're here now. We're here now.
Oh my God, you can hear us?
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
We couldn't hear you before.
Houston, can you hear us? We've just landed in Karen on the moon, and we found 2,000 toilet rolls. All got the stamp on them. Only some are remade in China.
Oh wow!
Right.
Listen, they doing that. They trying to do that here as fast as possible now. What they did in China, they're trying to do that here.
Toilet rolls that are in the sky.
Yeah, like listen. First of all, listen. You see
There
all
are grey clouds. The toilet rolls are the grey
yeah, you
clouds.
see all these people that buy all these toilet paper. I said, oh, what about all the people that can't fend for themselves, like the old folks? Do you understand? They can't fend for themselves. So you got all these people taking all this merchandise for what?
That's right.
Now the old person's gonna go in the supermarket and have nothing to buy. Well, you know why? Because everybody bought everything.
Yeah,
That's
and Freddie, if I had a husband, I'd use his string vest to wipe me ass with.
Nah, but you a tough little old cookie.
Yeah, she's a tough little cookie there.
Yeah, Marilyn, yeah. Awesome. They said you're a tough little cookie.
Use a string vest to wipe me ass. No, string vest is just as good as any. If you run out of toilet paper, put up a towel.
Listen, that's right. You know what it is? Because nature is great. You got leaves outside that work too. That's better than.
That's right.
Does that mean in the end I'll go, I haven't got any clothes left because I had to cut them all up with the toilet paper?
Oh
no, gosh.
Maybe they want to go walking around naked.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Then.
Someone did it biblical time.
Yeah, Freddie, I asked you a question just a minute ago. What's your take on the fact that London and New York are their own states? They're separate.
Listen, they're not. How you call it? They're not. How you call? They're not different in many ways. It's the same thing. You know what it is? They both. New York and London. They're the tourist attractions. That's what it is. If you want to really.
Yeah, but the borough of London is a separate state.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a separate state.
You said the borough of London is London?
It's like New York. It's a separate state.
Oh yeah, like here. That's like here. We have New York City as one. New York City is one, like everything together. And then you got Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Long Island.
But you'll find New York.
So New York's it's pretty big.
Is its own place. It's Freddie. Freddie has a bit of feedback. But it's New York and London are their own. Are a separate state.
Yeah. Why not? What do you think? Are they?
Yeah. Well, they're telling us they've got different flags, and I'm wondering whether it's probably some legal way, isn't it, or some money thing.
Don't you know? This is not our original flag. You see this flag that you see hanging all over the place? This is not the original flag.
Oh,
right.
Listen, we have an original flag before the government came in.
Right.
There was an original American flag before they made this one the American flag. I call this flag the slave flag.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is the slave flag. You put your listen. You put your hands over your heart to pray to the to pray to your slick flag.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Because
awful.
you know how they tell
Yeah.
you pledge of allegiance. You pledging to this.
Oh,
Yes, you
Yeah.
to something. Like a pledge. Like if you want to join a sorority, you pledge into this sorority. You pledge into this flag.
Yeah. Well, I'm not pledging to it, but that's
No,
what they do, isn't it?
yeah, because that's how they program you in school. They start you in school to learn how to say the national anthem and everything else to this flag.
well, the same we have
That's
to
right.
sing God Save the Queen.
Yes, that's right.
Oh no, yeah, listen,
The Queen of England.
don't you know that little old lady in England owns this property in New York City?
Well, nothing surprises me with that mob. The
Listen,
firm.
New York City is the New York state is owned by England. That's why I tell these people they're not free. Because if England owns America, right? How
Mm-hmm.
are we free?
Exactly. We're all living in an open prison.
Yes, listen, we
That's
don't even
right.
own our stuff. So how is America free if London owns this country?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. It's called. I can imagine it comes under control.
Yeah. There's a lot of controls they have.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
So,
like our birth certificate and our passports.
Oh yeah. Listen, your passport, your birth certificate, your social security card. Listen, these documents, if you really look them up, they Freemason documents.
And
well.
which all we are just numbers.
Yes, that's what you
Yes.
are. That's why when you go to jail, they don't use your name.
I
You
know
gotta
they don't.
a
Yeah.
number. So yes,
Right.
listen, so they showing you right there that you're not anyone to them. Listen, that name that comes in capital letters in the mailbox. Listen, that's a dead entity they want you to play. That's why when you go to jail, they give you these numbers because that's the dead person
Right.
you're playing. So the living person's in jail when they don't have to be. Now you understand?
I
Yeah.
understand.
The
And there's
living
some.
there's no law that says they can lock the living person up in jail.
Right.
Yes, they
Yeah.
cannot lock. Listen, that's what it is. People's programmed to, just give up their rights. Boom, here, take my rights. When the police officer says turn around, they be like, okay, no.
Yes. Yeah. That's what they do. Yeah.
You're a living person. You're a human being, and these people treat you like an animal.
I know. It's horrible. It really is.
Don't forget to buy
Listen,
my book.
no, listen. I seen your video.
No.
Pretty long video. Yes, on YouTube. Soon as I left you, listen. I don't know. It just it came up. A pretty long video about the book.
Oh. Yeah. I have to get your book, Marilyn. How can I get
Only
it?
about
Listen,
you'll get it for about $5 a hardback copy, and then I'll
Okay.
sign
Great.
it.
yes. Listen, that interview. Listen, that's something. That's totally something. Something different from me. Listen. I was like, whoa.
I know.
That blew my
You
head.
send Freddie, send your address to Karen, both of you, and I'll send you a signed copy.
Okay. Karen has my email address.
Yeah, but I need to send the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't send a book through the email.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
see. Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah. She can get. Yeah. She can write to you, and you can send the address.
okay. Yeah, I need one too, Marilyn, so I can get it through Karen. Get
Yeah.
your
Well,
copy of your book through Karen.
Send me your address, Amy, and I'll send you
Okay.
a copy signed, and the same for Freddie with Karen.
Oh, okay, great. How much?
We're on Facebook, so
It's
Oh,
there.
great. That
Um,
sounds
uh,
great.
Karen, if you look in the box, it's in. I wrote it in the box.
Okay, I'll pass it to Marilyn and we'll sort that out afterwards.
Yeah.
So I just
Oh,
had to get me and Marilyn a drink. Freddie, can I ask you something? How are you
sure.
doing the hangout? Because there is a bit of feedback that goes through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is there any way we can get rid of your feedback?
What do you mean my feedback?
you've got to mute it off. Well,
Well, when you don't talk, when we talk, it sort of echoes back.
Oh, so I'll just mute.
Oh, okay.
we're not going to be able to.
You know what it is? No, no, no. You know what it is? It's nice. It's nice out here, so I have everything open. The windows is open, and then these walls in my house are so thin that you can hear the water. You know the how you call it? You can hear the water running upstairs.
Oh, wow.
Bathroom. In the
So,
bathroom.
yeah, so when I can hear my neighbor's bathroom upstairs when they turn on the water because the walls are so cheap.
Thin.
You they're not like the 80s and 90s. When you punch the wall, you was gonna break your hand. Now you punch this wall and you walk up in the room.
Oh, wow. This
Oh,
then.
Yeah. Well, Freddie's muted himself now. So, Amy, can we hear you then? Oh, no,
Yeah,
Freddie
yeah.
had
Oh, yes. Yeah, so,
You can say what was going on over there in Delaware.
oh, wait, I'm not even sure what was going on in Delaware, Freddie. I know what's going on here in Maryland. What they've done is they closed the schools for 2 weeks for the children, and the stores are getting really crazy. Everybody is in there fighting over things and running out of supplies and stuff like that. And where my daughter works,
Freddie,
they're
can you
not
mute
even taking.
yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry. Can you
oh,
just
okay.
I
mute
can hear.
it? That's it. Sorry, Freddie. It's reverbing. Go on, Amy.
I'm sorry.
That's all
Okay.
right, my
Well,
darling.
oh, but yeah, so they closed the schools for two people to Maryland. I think they're having all of their people work from home, like if you work for the actual state government of Maryland. But if you work for the federal government, then there are only, well, certain branches of it. Like if you can have 5 days to work at home, and after that, you have to have a documentation. If you want to keep working from home, you have to have documentation from the doctor saying that you have like a pre-existing condition, that that you might be more susceptible to certain illnesses or something. So that's how it's been. I've just been looking on my Facebook, and I see that my certain people are, like, even people in my family, they're putting stuff out about the virus, and they're like telling you precautions, how not to get it and everything. But I've seen twice now in Facebook, they because my cousin shared a thing from Italy, and somebody had written in, and it was kind of long, and they said that if you, like, we need to really stop being doubtful or being skeptical, we Americans, because this is real, and we need to obey if they put a quarantine, we need to be taking it really seriously, and because
Oh,
the
Amy.
yeah,
Oh,
and so my cousin shared that, and then I didn't even put a like or anything on it. But then later on, I saw there was another letter. My cousin didn't send it. I just saw it one there, just somebody else had put it, and it was the same thing. It was like a very it wasn't the exact same one that my cousin shared, but it was from someone in Italy. It was the same. So they were saying very similar things. It was about the same length and everything, and just telling people that, you know, it's wrong of us to be doubting any of it because it's real and people are dying, and we have to, we Americans need to be willing to sacrifice and stay in the house and that and that we Americans are too like, well, nobody's going to tell us what to do. If we want to go here or there, we're going to do it. And they said we can't be that way because it's very selfish of us that we need to recognize that this thing is so out of control, and they can't even treat people at the hospitals because of it. And so that we need to be we need to be ready to just cooperate with the
yeah.
with all the quarantine and everything. So yeah, so it's just really crazy. And so my daughter, she went to a little thing tonight to like play games with people. I said, well, is the virus going to cause that to be canceled? But it wasn't. But one of the people didn't come because her child's already sick, and she don't want to risk it or
Well, we went
whatever.
out to a restaurant today, and there was a restaurant full of people.
Yeah, it was a restaurant full of people,
Yeah.
and they didn't have masks on and everything.
No.
Because my daughter, my sister was at the store the other night, and the people all had masks on and everything, and it took her 2 hours just to get everything and get through the lines. The whole ordeal took like 2 hours, something that any other time would take a very short amount of time. Because on a Thursday night, our stores in our area aren't going to be crowded, but they were packed. They had masks on, and everybody's just so up in arms. And
No, Amy, we had on this weekend one of the biggest jump horse racing festival called Cheltenham,
yes,
and that
yes,
still went on.
right, yes, that's
Listen,
yeah,
listen. You know what's crazy?
Thousands of that.
You know what I find crazy too? How's everything closed, right? The post office ain't closed. They
I
still.
know,
Why the post
All
office
bank,
still open? Why the bank's still open? Because you know why? They need your money.
exactly.
exactly.
They
That's
don't
right,
And that,
listen. First of all, everybody's panicking for nothing.
yeah, because they've been
exactly.
brainwashed, see?
You know what it is? You don't know where.
Yes,
You don't know exactly where these letters come from, and before they get to us, these people that own Google and YouTube, they confess. They get these letters before us and these
you're
videos
right.
before us. So how we know they're not altering this video?
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you understand? Maybe there's nothing going on, and they altering all these videos to make it seem that there's something really happening.
Exactly.
Because remember,
No, full flag video.
yes, the creator said that no one would know when this world will end.
That's right.
And all they doing is putting I think this scare tactic into play so they can take that money. Because listen, that's happening here too. Everybody got work from home.
Right.
They close.
Really. Yeah.
I say they doing that because they want you locked in your house because it's easier to control you.
Right.
If you're in a basketball game, football stadium, there's why? Because we spread around. Listen, you know why they didn't start that here in New York City? Listen, because here in New York City, you got some thugs that oh yes, they find out the truth. Listen, these police officers is in trouble because you remember
Yes.
we outpopulate the government 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah, there's more of us than them.
Yes, listen. The government's only like 10%. We have 9 billion people around the world.
Yes.
That's what people around the world don't understand. Listen, if we get together, we can overthrow the government. We can overthrow United Nations. We could overthrow all these people, evil people in power. People don't want to get together. They want to stay stuck in this matrix.
That's right. I know. I just think it seems like they're really intensifying everything for the next couple in these next couple of weeks. Like I almost feel like they want everybody inside while they do something. Like my daughter and I used to watch this TV show where
I think
the government made some kind of mess and they had to kind of cover it up. I forget what it was. So what they did, they got all the people to be quarantined so they could straighten it out and then make a big false news story about it. But how they kept the people from finding out is they quarantined them, told them they had some kind of virus. And that's what this reminds me of. And then there's a book. Oh, go ahead, Freddie.
Go.
Oh, I
Finish,
was just
finish.
going to say there's a book by an author. His name is Dean Koontz, and he wrote a lot of really good novels back in the 80s and 90s, and I read quite a few of them. And so this book, I think, is called The Eyes of Darkness, and in it, it's a fictional novel, but he predicted a virus breaking out, and it was actually called the Wuhan, is that the name of that city in China?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I
Wuhan
know what book you're talking about.
400. You
I
do,
know.
Freddie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, listen. I don't because you have to remember. Listen, everything that's in a book has to pass through the government or somebody in
Yeah.
power has to read your book before you publish it.
Before it published, yes.
Yes. So
my book's owned by Warner
it's
Brothers.
like how
Warner.
how did these people know all these things like the Simpsons? Excuse my French, but how the fuck the Simpsons know all these things that's gonna happen before it happens? You know why?
Yes, that's right.
You know why? They know
Oh,
they knew
yeah,
before
okay.
time what was gonna happen.
Exactly.
So so
Yeah.
so us seeing it for the first time is like them knowing the future when these people really don't know the future.
I know. That's right.
Yes, they wouldn't know the future. They would know what happened. You know what's gonna happen to this world, and ask anybody in the Simpsons what's gonna happen. They won't be able to tell you what's gonna happen to this world. They can show you all.
That's right.
They can show you all the predictions in the world because you know why they set up the predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Set them up so you would believe. Oh, they know how to tell the future.
Yeah. Why do you think they do that, Freddie?
But if you ask anybody that watch Simpsons how the world's gonna end, they won't be able to tell you because you know why the Simpsons can't tell you that either.
Right. But they predict a little bit into the
Yeah,
future, I
yes,
guess.
they want to predict everything that benefits them.
We
Yeah.
also had Trump coming down that escalator doing the hand thing, which he did.
Oh,
Do
that.
you remember that?
Oh
Ian?
yeah.
He might
Yeah.
be playing them, you see. It's he's on the stage, but I believe that Trump and co are the good guys because the cancer is getting so big, full of greed,
Yeah.
that someone's got to pull the reins in because the world will end up eating itself with this evilness. Someone has got to put a stop to it.
Well, I see it a bit differently.
Worldwide.
Right? I see it a bit differently. I see it that years ago, Amy and I, she knows, Amy, that I came across this video of Trump about 30 years ago, and he sounds just like today. He's talking about all the same things. He's talking about, Iran, and he wasn't. And they said, "Do you think you'll be a politician?" And he's going, "No, no, no." They knew then he was going to be president.
But
Right. Yeah.
how you know that's the Donald Trump? How you know Donald Trump's even real? Have you ever seen it?
That's what Karen had videos about.
Listen. You remember the first time that he met up with Jim Wong Un that they showed them both on TV side to side.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all gotta go look at that video again
I mean,
and look at their face. First of all, you could tell you can see the background to their face. I don't know how nobody noticed that.
Can you
wow.
ask him
Like
to
if you really look, their face get all messed up. You know, like
Oh,
they
cool.
get,
Wow.
like if they messed up somewhere,
Yeah.
like the hologram or whatever it was messed up the
Yeah.
like and you can see both of their faces messed up, and then you can see right through their body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the kind of.
that's what happened. Amy knows that I found this video when Putin was here talking with Trump, and you can see Putin and Trump are glitching, and then the people with them on the side, you can see through them. None of it's real as far as I can see. It's all just a game.
That's why I said, listen, whatever, listen, is coming. Remember, I tell you this. You see all these holograms that they trying to portray as real people, and it's to deceive everybody. Because whatever God you believe in, they got to hologram that God into the sky, and you gotta believe that that's your God. That's how they're gonna take control of the population, but through religion. You see, religion's gonna kill the world. Everybody, because you don't just see. Listen, all these evil people is all of a sudden a Christian. Back in my days, growing up in the 80s and 90s, a Christian was a man of God that that stand on the corner talking about the Bible.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in London staying on the streets.
Yes, they stand on the streets. Yes, just listen. You see how they stand on the streets over there? That was here in the 80s and 90s. You know why they don't do it here no more? Because it's banned of speaking about the Bible in New York City.
Cool. Really?
Yes, it's banned. And listen, you can't. They took God out these schools. Why you think?
Rid of Christianity because it's the only one that's keeping people.
No, listen. I don't believe in Christianity. I believe in the Father, in the Creator of this world. Listen, Christianity, Catholic, what else? Jehovah Witness. This was put here by the world to separate. Listen, you got one DNA. You see how they have all these DNA sites. Listen, you don't have all different DNAs. You have one DNA, the DNA that the creator of this world gave you. That's it. Listen, if you go take DNA off the trees and off the rocks, listen, they'll base human DNA.
Well,
Somebody,
none of it's good, is it?
No, listen. You see, like, because they try to portray that these dinosaurs in the museums is real. Listen, you go take DNA off that dinosaur, you gotta be highly upset because they fake.
Yes, they could be giants. They could be giants.
Listen, you could tell the difference between fossils and fake plastic dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be giants' bones.
You see all these fake bones that they have in these museums as dinosaurs. Listen, that's not fossils. You look on. You can find fossils all over YouTube, real fossils, and they look nothing like these fossils in the museum.
Well, I'm saying they could be giants' bones for all we know.
No, that's the thing. Listen, when remember in the Bible it said he washed the world away from the dinosaurs. That was a lie. He washed the world away from these evil giants that was roaming the earth. Yes, listen, they change. They change in the way everybody sees things, hear things, and say things.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, because listen, growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was different from now. Because remember, listen, there was no computer, no phone. You no, there wasn't anything. The only thing you had was light.
Yeah, we used to play outside. I did say to Marilyn earlier on that it could be that we're like the last generations to play outside. The younger ones, like my daughter's age, and Amy's daughter's age, they're different.
Nah, yeah, it's different. Listen, that's us too. That's my generation too. We used to go outside, play in the. We used to have. I don't know about over there. They used to let us open the pump talking about a water drought. Listen, a water drought. There's a whole. I keep saying there's a whole ocean right there. What are you talking about? A water drought? Is that you know what it is? They have to control everything.
And the really sad thing is, it was here for free. Well, most of it was here for free, and
That's
now
what
we're
I'm
paying
saying.
for everything.
Do any of y'all remember growing up in the 80s and 90s? Listen, there was no such thing as bottled water. You had to drink water out the pump or out the hose.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as bottled water.
Right.
No, there wasn't at
It
all.
wasn't.
The closest thing we had to water was this thing called Mystic Water. It came in a clear bottle, and it was like a fruity water here in the city. But there was no such thing as bottled water. That bottled water came in the 2000s, because you know what it is? They have to control everything, even what you drink.
Yeah, and then you find out actually that bottled water is probably worse for you than the tap water.
Yeah, listen, if you go listen, there's a YouTube video of all the waters that's out right now, and they show you the real water, which one is real. But guess what? You already know the real water costs like $7. Yeah, like the real water costs like $7. Like, who's gonna pay $7 for a big, for a small bottle of water? But it's better than drinking that $1.25 water. There's a person that does the test on all these waters, and you don't want to see what's inside of the water. It's disgusting.
Freddie, do you ever watch Mac Truth on the Run channel?
Who?
Mag Truth on the Run.
No, not. I'm gonna check them out right now.
Mag Truth on the Run. Let Karen know what you think at a later date.
Oh, we've lost Amy. Oh, there she is. Amy's back.
Amy,
I got back. I don't know what happens about that. I don't know what happened. I just went out. Can you hear me okay?
I think sometimes when you're on a telephone, it can log you. It just logs you off sometimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm just on a telephone.
I know it's not lobbing me off, but I've had it before when I've been on Hangouts and it keeps dropping you off.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, and I just couldn't get back in. I was ready to give up, then it came back. So, what did I miss?
No, I was talking about the bottled water. How the bottled water is worse for you than tap water.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
First of all, with bottled water, they're putting it in plastic, and plastic's not very good for you. Sometimes that bottled water could be there for weeks and weeks on a shelf. Say it gets hot, expanding, and the plastic's not good. That's one thing. And the second thing is, on Unscrambled, I have a video with that person testing the water, and they were looking at Pepsi water, they were looking at other water like Evian, and they've all got the
nitrogen.
The water will change different colours. And then water, and tap water was more healthy than bottled water.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, I don't think I watched that video, but I've seen it, but I don't think I watched it. But that's awful. Well, should you at least put a filter though in your tap water?
Yeah, the best thing is to have oh God, what do you call it? What does everybody do with their water, Marilyn? Oh, distilled.
Yeah, I bought a water distiller.
A water distiller.
Yeah, that's why they say. That's why they say don't drink water from plastic. Always drink water from a glass.
Oh, yeah, I have heard that. Yes,
because the plastic has the chemicals in it. The dye of that made the cup and everything. All that, and then the plastic has the
oh, what is it?
Something like a chemical maybe in there, or
it's like a chemical they make that plastic bottle with. That's
Yeah.
toxic. So they, the FDC accepts everything that's toxic for this country.
I know, but a lot of
That's
people
why.
Yeah.
by drinking. A lot of people think by drinking the bottled water that they're drinking better
Well,
water.
I did. Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't now. I did originally, but I don't now.
Yeah.
You think,
No.
To use it.
that bottled water is better for you, but then you realise it's in plastic, and
Yeah.
it depends where they got their water from.
That's right. I was
what it
thinking
is.
about that.
You know what it is too. You see how you drink water
What?
from the faucet. All right, listen.
Yeah.
In the 80s and 90s, it wasn't pipes like this. We had copper pipes. Because you know why we had copper pipes? Copper pipes
Why?
don't rot. They don't rot. They don't get deteriorated. They
Yeah, that's true.
meant to last forever. These pipes rot. That's why you get all this. That's why you have all these things in your tap water.
Yeah.
That's why
Right.
you was
Yeah. I
able.
don't.
That's why you was back in the days. You was able to drink your tap water because your pipes was made of copper. The best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And they found out.
know.
Who do you think put all the copper pipes in? Do you think it was the Tartarian people?
No, like the copper pipes. Listen, anything that has copper in it is not bad. Listen, is good. But since they want to be cheap, you
Right. That's right.
yes, they want to be cheap, and since metal rots. That's what happens when the
Right.
metal, after a while, that metal rots because so much water and everything on it. So how you think we have all these things on in the water?
That's right. Yeah.
Marilyn's had a long day. We'll go on for another, say, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Amy and
Yeah,
Freddie,
it's
I'm
been a
going to
long
stay
day.
till half.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, I can't keep my eyes open. It's bedtime for me.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Freddie,
okay.
Marilyn,
Marilyn.
nice meeting you, and
Love you, Marilyn.
you
send
too,
you
honey.
the books.
What do you want to
Oh, it's great. I'll give Karen my address.
I gave it to her.
Give it address on Messenger.
Yeah.
Yes, I gotta
Marilyn,
still give it. Yeah.
Look at that side.
Or I can even message
I think this
Marilyn.
side. Marilyn's staying the night, so she's gone to bed. It's just me and you guys for a bit longer.
Oh, yeah. She's had a
I'm
long
gonna
day and
I'm
drove
gonna have
to
to step
London
off.
and everything.
I'm gonna have to step off in a minute too.
You as well, Freddie.
Yeah, I gotta run to the store before it closes over here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, Freddie.
Does that mean you're exiting then?
Huh?
Are you
Listen,
exiting, or are you staying a little bit longer?
if y'all still here talking, listen, my store is not far. If y'all still here talking, I'll come back and join.
All right then. Leave me and Amy.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, my darling.
Okay, Freddie,
Right,
be careful.
Bye, Freddie.
I'll see you later, Freddie.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, darling.
Bye, Freddie. Bye, darling Freddie.
Oh, it's just you and me.
Yeah, how about that? We had all four of us. Now all of a sudden it's just you and me.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, we just talk for
Yeah.
another few minutes, and then we'll round the hangout up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marilyn just gets. I think she just gets tired. Do you know what I mean? It just comes over, and then when it does, she's got to go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wish I could be like that. I have all my insomnia and everything, but that's good for her.
Not just that, because
but-
don't you stay up all night? I stay up most nights.
Right, I know, that's right. Yeah, but she had I'm proud of her driving in from London, because if it's anything like here, we are, going in from the highways and everything can be very daunting. So good for her, and you had a nice time together. So that's great.
Yeah,
And
anybody dropped off once? What? No, dropped off twice tonight, haven't you, Amy? Only twice.
yeah, has it been twice? I know. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's with the you said because it's a phone. Maybe
Yeah, I
I
think
could get
so.
I wonder if my dad had a laptop computer, but would that work for Hangouts, do you think? But
Can
you
you do
have
it
to
on
get
your
a
iPad?
microphone.
Can you do it on your iPad to hang out?
I thought I probably could, see about how to do it. I'm not real familiar with using an iPad, but I could look into it. I won't do it like right now because I won't know what I'm doing. But like when my daughter is home, she could probably help me set it up because that might work better. When the iPad to do it there. I hate that dropping off like that. I miss
Yeah,
all
it's a
the
bit annoying,
action.
isn't it?
I
It's a
miss
bit
all the
annoying for you.
it is, and then I miss all the good conversation.
Oh, well,
That's the worst
you
part.
don't miss it all, Amy.
Well, right, the part, but I'm still missing some.
Yeah.
So, what all were you talking about? Mainly the with the water.
Yeah, I was just saying,
Uh,
a lot of people think that when they're getting bottled water, that they're getting
yeah,
something better and cleaner and the whole thing than tap water. And then on unscrambled, it's probably, like, I don't know how many videos it's in. It's not that many videos.
yeah,
It's
I've
like,
seen. It was like, yeah, one of the first ones I think that you kind of put out in that
yeah, I
channel. I
put out
just,
that this guy did a testing and the clean. It's not saying it's good, but tap water was cleaner than the bottled water. So he thought it was a good idea to use distilled water. So he still wanted distilled
yeah,
water, but tap water was better than
then bottled
yeah. Even though
water.
none of it's good.
Yeah, when I worked at the school, that reminds me, they did a test with the kids, like for science. They took all these different brands of bottled water, and then they just had the tap water, and they just had them testing like the pH level and what would be good. And actually, the tap water came out better than all of that bottled water, and some of it was expensive, some of the bottled water. So
Yeah,
that was pretty interesting
that's what I
too.
thought.
Yeah, and I know I've heard like if the plastic, if you've had your water bottle, maybe you took it out uh like to play sports or something and it sat in the sun for a while, and they would tell you don't put it back in the refrigerator to get it cold because they said the heat reacting with the plastic was making a bad combination. So I do know about that. But then I have heard too, just the plastic in and of itself isn't good. And then I think to myself, how do we know even what they're putting in the bottled water? How do you know, like you were saying, where that came from?
Yeah.
So,
The thing
right.
is,
So,
like it's a bit like they would write like every now and again a post would come out. We were the children where we had whatever it was paint on our cots. We were the children we were the children that ran in the field. I'm not saying, maybe some of those
right.
people live as long as we're going to live, but they didn't have all these problems. They weren't on all these medications and things. They were all right.
Yeah, I know.
And they
Yeah,
had
it's a
to be all right because all those
right.
people helped to get to here.
I know. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's like what is the difference that they did okay and it's just, it's just getting worse. I was watching a video today about it was about water and all the chemical in the actual water, but I didn't get to finish the whole video. I only got to see the beginning, and he was talking about they put the chlorine and the fluoride into the water and stuff. So, but I didn't get to watch the whole thing. But it looked kind of interesting. He worked in the water industry here in America for 30 years, and he just quit his job to be a full-time YouTuber. So, but I only was watching a few minutes, and then my Wi-Fi. I was sitting outside with my daughter. We were both watching it. Then the Wi-Fi went out as usual. So with my bad between my phone and my Wi-Fi, so we didn't finish watching it, my daughter and I. So I can't tell you the rest of what he was saying, but I think the whole theme was about the fluoride in the water, and So do you distill your water, Karen?
No, I don't.
I don't either, because it sounds like quite the process, but but I mean, Marilyn has something, she said, like
Yeah, a lot of people are beginning to get these distillers in and distill the water. They're
yeah,
saying distilled water isn't overly good for you, and you can't, you shouldn't have it for that long. But a lot of people are
right.
living with it and saying everything's fine.
I know. Right. Well, my dad, he drank tap water. I did too for quite a while. I used to be I went through a time where I just ate everything and drank everything so healthy. I drank a lot of tap water, and that was many years ago. And it, obviously it didn't hurt me, but I don't know if that was copper, like Freddie was saying, or what, but, and even the way they design the faucets now, because I had taken a chemistry class and the man was telling us, when it was like a practical chemistry, he said, when you go to turn your water on, if you put your hand on the spout that the water comes out of, if you just wait till you feel it go cold and then start filling your glass, he said that was better. I guess gets out I don't know if it was for any impurification or what, but now that doesn't work the way the faucets are now. I tried it a couple of weeks ago and it didn't work, so I don't know. But it just, yeah, it's like everything has gotten so different and more complicated. So, yeah, but people in
Yes, Amy, I'm
Oh,
listening.
yeah, I'm here. Are you there, Karen? Are
I'm
you there?
listening.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? All of a sudden, I thought I was
You
out
thought
again.
you'd gone. You
I
thought
thought I
you'd
was
gone,
talking.
Amy.
Yep. So what I did, I glanced at my phone to see, and it's all off of the Hangout page, and it got one to something else. And
No,
so
you're
I was just
okay, Amy. You're
looking at,
still with
and
me.
I heard you. I didn't. So, but okay. So I was still one.
Yeah, you're all right.
I
Yeah, it's a bit
just don't
annoying though, isn't
know
it,
what.
that people think that they're actually drinking more healthy water, but they're not. They're not
Yeah,
drinking healthy water. They're just
and
drinking more polluted water.
I know, and just
I think what
thinking
I'm going to
about
do
it,
is,
I think,
I think what I'm going to do, Amy, is right now I'm going to put that video on about the water.
oh great, yeah. I haven't watched. I've always seen it. It
Well,
was before I
I might have
followed your
put it on at the
channel, but
beginning. I might have put it on at
yeah,
the
that'd be
beginning.
great. Yeah, because I didn't. I always mean to watch it, and then I don't get to watch it. But I have seen it in your. There was a few that I'd like to see from before I actually started being a subscriber to your channel. That looks
I know
interesting.
you have to watch, if you watch from the beginning, about the first 4 videos, maybe 5 videos, 6 videos, they're all about being in favour of Shanann, and then they're not. And then I start
I
attacking the
know, right?
drive
I know.
and putting other
Yes.
videos out.
I know. I've listened to some of them, and when you were talking about defending her, just like you were just like me, I felt the exact same way. Everything you were saying, that's how I felt at the time. But I didn't discover your channel till, we both were at the point we realized it was something very wrong with the whole story. So,
Yeah, and then what it is I've got off that and I've got onto the politics and the actors and everything, and it's all the same there as well.
I
Everything's the same.
know.
It's all not right. It's all like, I just can't work out whether I mean, a lot of people, like the person with the video, it's got Castro, President Castro,
Yes.
Marky Lee. He reckons they have prosthetic things on. You know, they have little things on that change and, you know, can just change their ears and they just stick things on. I'm just not sure whether it's virtual reality we're looking at. So we're
I
really sort of
know.
looking at it like a football game. Because you remember, Chris Watts, he turns around when they're asking to do something. He's got his top off and he turns around just like a game.
Yes, that's right.
And I thought, we're looking
Yes.
at virtual reality then, because that's what those computer games are like.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just
That,
not sure how they're doing it. You know, Can B thinks that they have masks on. So that's how they can change into the other people. They just put a little layer, a little mask on. And you think, oh. And then
yeah.
he said, Can B said, just because they've told us it takes hours to make the people up, it may not. It may take an hour. But they're saying, oh, it takes 7, it takes 12 hours to get, you know, Michael Jackson made it up. Maybe it didn't. I mean, you saw
Exactly.
Michael Jackson, he turned into a white man
I know.
in the video, the singing video.
Yes.
You know, they're telling us it takes hours and hours and hours to do this, but it may not. It may take much less. And so we think, well, hours and hours,
Right.
and then they just slip a mask on. But I was wondering whether it's virtual reality, how they're doing. I
Right.
just don't know. We even had this thing that they were green
It
screening,
could
that
be
they
a
were hologramming.
yeah. It could be a
Amy?
combination.
Yeah.
They might be using like Karen.
Carry on. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Oh, okay. Great. I said maybe it's a combination, you know, maybe of like masks and CGI and virtual reality and stuff. I wouldn't doubt if they don't use
Do
a
you remember when
combination
she's
of
sitting there?
trickster.
Do you remember when she's sitting there doing her thrive
Yeah.
and you have him behind her? That's on a green screen.
Yes.
They're not together when
Yes.
they do that. So
Yes,
it is
that's
a bit
right.
it is a bit crazy to understand like how they're doing all this, but they've had years to do this. And I think
Yes,
that's
they
why
have.
they look slightly not in. There's a fashion of the hair that looks like that's 5-10 years ago. They could have made all that 5-10 years ago and they put it out
That's true.
2019.
Yeah. Or even it was interesting because the movie came on again last night, and my daughter and I were watching it, and she was making comments about, I think it was the clothes, and she doesn't think there's she just thinks it you know, was a terrible thing that happened. She don't see anything wrong, but anyway, she just
You know what
said
I thought you
those
were going to say?
clothes.
I thought you were going
But
to say it was a terrible wardrobe because that's what it was.
yeah, well, she did say she said that the clothes, and it might have been the hairstyles, like, but she said it looked like early 2000s to her, is what she said. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was that's what she said, something about the clothes, but oh, I know what it was. It was the clothes and all that, but also how they kept saying like, how Chris Watts always says like between every single word practically. She was kind of laughing, and she said that is so from the 2000s, and I didn't say anything, but I kind of picked up. I said, let me store that away. And I tell Karen that if I think of it, that she's
Yeah.
putting it, said that was a very 2000 for every reason way of talking. So yeah, they probably put
But
it
there is
together
something else,
years
Rain,
ago.
there, Amy, because a lot of people go to that piece of land, but there's no houses on that piece of land. There's like two space houses.
No.
So that's Nate's house and their house are not there. Maybe the one next to it as well are not there today. They're not showing up on Google Maps.
Right. It's just, it's crazy that they wouldn't show up in Google Maps. It
I
really
think
is. I
if
just
you
don't
go to Street
understand that.
View, Street View sometimes finds their houses and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're walking along a
Yeah,
piece of land and sometimes the houses are there. But it wouldn't
I
matter. The houses
know.
be there because they're supposed to be there.
That's right. I don't, I really don't understand that at all either.
No,
And
we don't
then
understand
wherever
the
they,
autopsies. We don't understand the children in the tanks. We've changed the subject now, Amy. We're talking about
I
something else.
know we got into the
You're
case. That's
lethal.
good.
You are like this.
That
No, I think it was me
that's
actually.
no, it was because we were talking about the Unscrambled channel, and that
Right.
brought us back to the subject matter, a lot of the subject matter
Well,
that
yes, the
that you
channel
see.
knows that we haven't forgotten about it. It's just there's not much we can do about it.
Yeah, what
I,
else
I
can
think
we
I think
say?
channels like mine prove there's something desperately wrong with all the footage, and
Yeah,
even the children working off the television screens are going on, but there's
I
nothing much.
know.
I sent it all to Donald Trump, and he wasn't interested.
I know exactly.
There's nowhere
Yeah,
to
and
go with
it's
all
just
this, so I moved on to other stuff.
right. I don't blame you because it just becomes frustrating. It's like we can talk about it and show. We've shown you showed so many things,
I
and
did,
there were
I did
many.
like, because everybody says this stuff to me, but I'd like to say thank you to everybody that puts those links in, because sometimes I ask to copy their link, their videos, or
Oh
it leads
yes,
me on to another video. And even you, Amy, you've given me stuff and we've made a video. Bitsy's another
that
one.
yeah, I know. Yes, yeah. Uh, um, and you made some great videos out of them, and there were different ones, and that you would get to a point and say, at this point, I should be able to go to the police with this because you could just put a picture through photo forensics and show that it was all wrong.
Loads of the same picture, same pictures. Yeah.
Yeah,
And also the
but
footage
it's
on
like,
the
but how
drive. There's
can?
no way the
Oh,
police
I
should have given us
know.
that footage on the drive.
Oh, I know. And when I was watching a movie last night, I just thought, like, so they didn't, of course, I mean, use the, well, it's not even a real house, but they used the house. It didn't even look that much like the or the house from the, from the
Do
YouTube.
you know what? I don't know how they're doing it exactly, because me and Amy have noticed it on other people's videos, haven't we, Amy? But instead
Yes,
of it looking like a proper room, it suddenly looks like you're looking at a diamond-shaped room or something. There's just something off about the footage. Now, we've seen
yeah,
it on other videos. We can see it in this
yes,
case as well. I mean, when she's sitting there, the floor in the dining room is like up in the sky. And it shouldn't be. It should be further down on the ground, because that's like
right,
Dean Forrest, in the middle of the street, making it look like he's in the middle of a field. And it makes
yes,
him look like his little diddy person on the road when he won the election. And then suddenly
yeah.
this newspaper reporter next to him, and the newspaper reporter then is a giant.
I
It,
know, it's so out of proportion.
yeah.
And
And then the
it's like,
tree going backwards and forwards, and then you can see where they pasted it in, and you're like, oh my God. So to lie about the video, knowing they made that weeks before, it means that they knew that he was going to win, and the whole thing is just all set out. And that's why I did with
yes,
Marilyn, because
yeah,
she thinks that Trump's a good man and that he's bringing it together. And I
I
think, no, the orange man is one of them.
no, I know. And I started out like Marilyn, thinking that too, that he was the good guy, and is right. And I've even thought, well, he's got to kind of play along with some of it, even if he knows it's not real. But or even if he knows you're doing things that are wrong, it's only so much that a president can do, because they got to get stuff through Congress and this and that. But
Yeah, but
they
none
can
of it's real,
also
isn't it?
they
They don't have to do
yeah
any of those
and
things. They
they can make a executive order if it's something. Yeah, they have something. The way our government's set up, they have an executive order they could do where you don't
Well, do
have
you know
to
what I
go through
thought as well?
Congress.
You know how we know that businesses are running it and dictating it, and there's lots of actors. But it
Yes,
really means that if Trump is who he is and he's a real person, he's a business. So a business
right.
is running the country.
Well, yeah, and actually, our the United States is a corporation. I believe it says it right in the part of the Constitution, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. I never realized that, but some channels that I watch has pointed that out, and I never knew it for a few years until a few years ago, but it actually lists us as a corporation, our very country. I believe I'm saying it correctly, that, we're a corporation. I was really gobsmacked to hear that, because I just, I was very patriotic, raised to be patriotic and love our country and everything. And I didn't know all this stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But
And
when
now you do, it looks much worse than you could ever
it
imagine.
does, yes, it really does. And then, how about Freddie was saying earlier? I didn't see the video, but that Freddie thinks that Trump wasn't really there because you could see right through him. But I forget who he said he
Hello?
got the virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. We just lost
I think it was
on my
something.
phone. I did. My phone just lost you for a second, but you're back. It's
Oh,
just hard to
okay.
know now what is real and what isn't. It just
That's
me, I just
right.
think it's all fake.
I think so too. And just
I just
reading.
think that what it is what people don't realise is that we watch our television, we get our paper that says all the programs in it and all the guide, and you've got all these
Yeah,
programs, and it'll go the documentary, EastEnders or Dallas, whichever one you want. Da 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 da. They don't realise that not only it looks like they're giving us information, it looks like we're getting documentaries, it looks like we're getting freedom and of choice and all
yes,
sorts of things, but we're not. The whole thing is funneled. The whole thing is,
exactly.
so it's a bit like we're not getting a president or a prime minister, we're getting actors playing parts that they made weeks and weeks ago.
Yes, yes, I agree. It's really awful. And I really was blown away by the video that you had mirrored from Sparky the other day. I think it was
I know
Sparky with the.
I saw a few woes. Whoa, that's what people wrote.
I
Oh
know, that's
God.
how I couldn't believe it. I mean, and I've seen so much already, but then
Yeah,
that
Sparky did
really
a good
threw me
job,
for a
didn't
loop.
he? That's where I've got to in when I want to show who someone is, I superimpose the picture on and off like he does.
I know, yeah, you do it the same way. So yeah, um, it's very interesting. I was watching a video today, and it was about the virus, but the lady was talking about this. So, the quote experts on this coronavirus, and she noticed a strong resemblance. The man that was the expert, she and I saw it too. Everybody did a very strong resemblance too. And from another case that I will have to, I have to
Yeah, I just think it's
tell you
really
about
incredible that
privately.
yeah, when you see these people, you end up finding them playing solicitors in courtrooms and things like that, don't we,
Yes,
Amy?
yes. I
It's
put
just
comment and said that they do recycle the crisis actor. They recycle. I'll use uh, deep technology like CGI technology. So it could have been the very same person. Very strong resemblance.
so basically
So
what it is with the
uh,
television is that it looks to me like in the 60s and 70s they told us that a group called the Monkees were a band made for
yes,
the television, but they're all made for the television. None of them are real. They're
yeah,
all just like, so we watch the Monkees, but everybody is the Monkees.
yeah. I
That's what
know,
it is.
I know. It's a shame. I mean, because I just the world would seem simpler when you don't know these things.
Yes, I know,
It's like
it's a bit like, oh, there's, I don't want to go back, and I'm not going back. But when I was back there, the life scene, there was the programs, there was this, and then the more you wake up,
right.
it just gets more and more difficult. And actually, I can't watch the television anymore. I can't do this, and I can't use that, and I'm not going there.
I know. Oh, I know. It's It is hard, and it's hard to be awake, and especially, you know, if you're the only one in your family or whatever this or it's awake, and it's hard when nobody else wants to see it. But you know, and when I go on Facebook, I see a lot of people that, you know, think like me about certain different issues, and then I have and they're the awake people, and then, you know, as people that I know personally, I love them, you know, to I love them with all my heart, but they are not awake. And
I don't know whether
that
you've noticed. I don't know what it would push for people to start putting horrible comments in, because obviously I've got quite a lot when I did the Watts case.
I
But
know.
I just, put a filter on there. Any nasty names I put in there so it would stop them coming through, and then I just, right, that person's being extremely rude, and then I block them. I don't get
That's
many
good.
of those anymore. So
Yes,
whoever's
I
on the
know.
channel uh,
Yes.
is a believer or looking for the truth, or
Yeah, I know. People are really seeking the truth. I just am seeing that so much. And I think even the ones that are still, you know, that still do believe in the system, I still think they're very open. I can tell a lot of them are really open to hearing the truth. But the one comment that I was reading on Facebook where it was the person that had written, and I think they were saying that they lived in Italy, and they wrote this kind of lengthy thing all about, you know, how this is a real thing, and, you know, we need to be staying in our houses, like I was talking about earlier.
it's
And
like the
then,
video I was playing you, isn't it, with the guy, something zebra, 2010. He's saying the same
yes.
thing.
Yeah, and but she had so after that thing was put out there, it had so many comments when there because people were really challenging, and it was refreshing to me to see the people challenging. But this one girl was going back and forth with another girl, and the one girl was saying, you know, that you need to do research, you know, that you can't just trust what the government is doing. She said, I've been doing a lot of research on the virus, and she was very rational. And but this person kept going back. They were going back and forth because this other person was, you know, just system and telling the girl she didn't know what she was talking about, and she was trying to stay civil. The one that was criticizing the girl for questioning it, but the girl said, you know, that you have to ask questions about everything you see. You just can't buy it just because you they're putting it out there for us. So it was quite interaction in the comments, and but I just thought, because I had just seen that thing my cousin put out, and I said, I read it to see if it was the exact same one. I thought maybe it was the same one my cousin shared, but it was a different one. So I thought, well, what is this? Are they putting out? It reminded me like a propaganda type thing, is what it reminded me of. And but I just don't know how long they think they can keep things in this situation of being like shut down or whatever. Are your tubes shut down in England for your in the train station?
Well, that's what Marilyn said earlier on, but she's not sure, But yeah, that's what she said, that the tubes were. But I think that if that's the trains and buses are going, then why shut the tubes down?
Yeah, because I saw I remembered that you had told me about the tubes might shut down or shut down, and somebody and something I was watching or reading, they said, if it's this bad, then how come the tubes are still running? So I wasn't
Yeah, but if you
sure,
imagine the
you know,
buses are
if they
still
were
going, loads of people get on the
right.
buses because obviously, I'm in the country, right? I drive my car, and a lot of people around here will all drive our cars. If you live in London, you're going to get on a bus, you're going to get on a tube or a train to get to places. Now,
That's
the
right.
tube not working, but the buses and the trains are going. So if you're going to shut one down, you
Yeah,
have to shut them all down. It's just this
that's what
fear
I
thing, isn't
thought
it?
too. Yes, it's all about the fear, and I think really either people see it or they don't see it. I think it's kind of two, you know,
I think a
camps.
lot of
One
people
sees
do
it, one
see it.
don't.
I think a lot of people do see it,
Right. A lot of
but there's
people,
nowhere to go. It's not like you can go, hey, let's go to my police station and say something's really wrong here. You know, I just remember
yes.
with 9/11, they said if everybody went to the police station and reported that 9/11, you know, that there was things wrong with it, we'd get somewhere. But who goes? None of us have gone. You can't. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah. That, yeah. It seems like there should be somewhere that we could go.
It's like
And
we're
I
on
saw
our own, the awake ones.
it is, and we shouldn't have to be because, like we were saying earlier, so many of us versus the people. It seems like we should be able to stand together and do something about it. But I guess people are ready to do it or something. I think they're
In
so
a
their whole
sense,
life
we're doing
depends
it by having
on it.
these hangouts. Yeah, we're doing it by
Yes,
having these hangouts, but
that's right.
we want to know that it changed and it's not happening. All you're getting is virus, 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 virus,
I
virus. I
know.
hate that virus.
Me too. I'm so tired of that of that virus and just really I think it's very cruel to the people to put this kind of fear in people. And I myself was supposed to have a doctor appointment on Wednesday, and they called me and this morning and said that I can't get. They have over link, and somehow I got to get in the computer and have a virtual, like it's almost like FaceTiming or whatever. I just said this virus is the craziest thing, and my daughter, where she works, they won't let everybody just work from home. Only certain people. But what it is, you can say that you have that you have the a pre-existing condition, and everybody will do it because they're not going to question it. So you can work from home for 5 days, but after that you'd have to show proof that you have a, like, a weakened immune system or something like that. But
Right.
uh I just think to instill this kind of fear in the people, and I was reading one of my cousins put out a list of all the symptoms. Couple of people, they mean well. I know they mean well. They're telling you the symptoms of the virus, and they were saying it's a fever and a cough and shortness of breath, and I can't remember if it might have been one more thing, but I thought, now people, if when they're nervous, they get short of breath. Sometimes, if you have anxiety, you will become short of breath, and then you think to yourself, "Oh my gosh, I must have the virus."
Hello?
I just think it's
Well, you're there.
absolutely. Oh, yeah, yeah. I just think it's
Well, I just lost
absolutely
you for a second.
cruel.
Yeah.
I keep talking. I'm not just talking to myself like I've done before, but I think it really is cruel if you think about it. Uh, We haven't, and I think it's very mean, and like Freddie and I've read that somewhere else too. How, like, what about elderly people and so forth that might not be able to get out to get things, and then people are going and buying up every last supply. And that's terrible too, because the media's got everybody so uh, in a panic. So they start running to the store to buy all this stuff, and then you're creating shortages at that point. So it's just a really wrong thing that they're doing in every way. And I just feel like it's something for us to be angry about. But they want us to say that the government is keeping us safe. That's another thing I think that it said in those letters from the Italian people, it said, you know, your government is trying to keep you safe. So the right thing to do is obey the quarantines and stay inside, because that would be very terrible of you to carry that germ to a vulnerable person. And I just don't buy it. And those symptoms, like just a fever, a cough, and shortness of breath, that's more symptoms from like
Oh yeah, you
5G or
got it then.
something. That's not
You got
even
it. You got it. You got it.
right. Yes. Yes. And I saw that in Denmark, somebody had put a comment on a video that in Denmark they just passed this law for the police to come into anybody's home. They don't need any kind of warrant or anything. Come if you're even suspected of having the virus, they'll come right in your home, and they can check you out. And I forget what all she said, but I got the impression they could just, you know, kind of force their way in. And if they thought you had the virus, to force you into quarantine and all that. Um, and then my daughter, she's a fence. She doesn't want to she said she will not get the vaccine, and she doesn't want all that quarantine business. But she did say, I said, what do you think they're doing with this? Because it's really crazy. And she said, well, they're saying it's about the hospitals, that the hospitals, there's so many people in them that they've got to stop the spread of this, because if they don't get it stopped, it's just going to be so out of hand. And that's what the people in Italy, there's a couple letters I read on Facebook, we were saying that we got to get it now, because everything is getting really out of hand because of the spread of it. But I don't know anybody, prayerfully, I don't know anybody that has got this virus. Do you, Karen? I mean,
No.
it's like we don't, right? And it's like, so you hear about people having it, and it's just, but I don't just see it like myself with my own eyes. I can't tell you like, oh, my neighbor has it, or it's not like that. It's just we hear and have
Amy?
that I heard on the news, whether it's local. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Can
you're
you hear
back now.
me,
Yeah,
Karen?
you're okay now. Yeah, you're
Okay.
okay now.
Oh, great. Great. But no, the only cases that I've heard of is people in the news, or whether it's local or national or whatever. Not that I watch the news, but I see, you know, in the YouTube or my Facebook, I'll see different cases about it. So, but you know, I don't know anybody personally or anything, and I hope to God that, you know, I wouldn't, but I just don't think that, I don't think it's a real thing. What do you think? Do you think it's even a real thing, or do you think that
Well,
it's
I'm
just
having a
something
hangout
that
tomorrow
they,
night with Claudio. We're going to, obviously, I'll
yeah,
put Tim on
oh,
the channel.
cool.
And
Yeah.
he's reckoning that the stars do it, and it's not what we think it is. But you have to listen to the hangout to hear him talk about it properly.
Oh, that should be really very interesting, because Claudio has some really good, really amazing insights into things. So I look forward to hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that sounds very fascinating.
Yeah, I don't want to give
I,
too much away, but I'd rather
I was
Claudio
just
talk
gonna
about it
say,
in
I
the
don't,
hangout.
right, I don't want you to give
But
any
he
of it
reckons
away.
it's actually coming from the stars, and he's got yeah. I'd rather explain it. Yeah, him explain it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Amy, we've been going
That,
for
yeah.
an hour and a half. Well, I've got to take the beginning bit off because what happened was, you know, the reason why it was all a bit funny though with me, because
Yeah,
I was
what
on my
was it?
computer and I hadn't come on my phone, and then the beginning bit you're not going to hear me because I told you I have to be on the phone so it can go through and record.
Oh, yeah, because Freddie and I it was breaking up for both of us
Yeah, but part of
when,
the reason it's breaking up because he just does a little. He's got feedback on his. He needs
oh,
to.
right, the feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
it was all right. We did really well today, and Freddie's gone, and Marilyn's foster
Oh,
Um,
yes.
so should we end this hangout now? But don't go because we'll talk for a few minutes. But
Right.
say goodbye on air. And this was just a
Okay.
grass hangout. Marilyn wanted to have a hangout with Freddie, but it just got, by the time, what's the time? It's 12:30. I can't keep my eyes open. Whatever
Oh,
time it is. Yeah.
yes.
Amy, as per
Yes.
usual, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'd like to say thank you very much to Freddie, to
Oh, well, thank you,
Marilyn,
Karen. Then that's my
and to
pleasure.
Amy,
Yes, ma'am.
and to the chat room.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Been
yeah.
a
Anyway,
delight.
this one will probably go out before, but obviously, if anybody's aware that I had a hangout myself earlier on with Marilyn, and I've got an hour talking with Marilyn, but that will come out after this one. But anyway, Amy,
Okay.
Marilyn Wisdom
Oh,
on
yes,
this hangout.
Karen.
Amy, we are
Yes.
going to say good night now to everyone. So
Okay. Oh, good night, everyone. Thanks for listening.
yeah, thank you very much,
Yes,
everybody.
everyone.
You heard our point of view. We did quite a bit in that hour and a bit, didn't we?
Yes, yes, we
Yeah.
did. Yes.
Anyway,
Oh,
thanks so much for watching. Thank you, lovely Amy, and to Freddie and to Marilyn.
oh, thank you, lovely Karen and
Yay,
Freddie and
Amy, I love
Marilyn.
you, Amy.
Yes, love you, Karen.
Amy is the bestest friend you could ever have. She's lovely. I love her to pieces. Anyway, I think I've lost Amy now. Oh
Lovely.
no, she's still there.
Yes.
No, you're lovely, Amy.
Do
This
you
is when
hear me?
we take half an hour to say goodbye to each other. But
We
Amy, just
do.
on here,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, thanks very much,
Oh,
everybody, and thanks for listening.
thanks, everybody. God bless everyone. Love to all. Bye, everybody.